The third one again, I'm factoring a quadratic with a leading coefficient greater than 1. That means you're going to have a number in front of your squared term. It makes your factoring a little bit more difficult because we have to think about the foiling. Again, I would probably print out my note sheets on this. It's going to pretty much look like the note sheets on the first one. I look at it, there's 3 terms. One of them is a squared term, so I know it came from foiling. But this time when I factor my 3z squared, I have to figure out, well, what times what is 3z squared? Well, 3 is 1 times 3, so I'm going to have a 1z times a 3z, or z times 3z. Again, the order that you put them in there really doesn't matter. Eventually it'll work out in the right order, hopefully. But I have a 1z and a 3z. My rules for my signs, the same as on the previous ones. If the end is negative, I know I have to have one of each sign. The problem is it will make a difference here which way you put them in. So what you're going to do is just pick one way to put them in, 1 plus and 1 minus, and if you get the right middle number but the sign is wrong, then switch your signs around. So I'm just going to guess and I'm going to make this a plus and a minus because I know I have to have one of each. Factors of 7. Well, in this case, there's only 1 times 7. But again, it makes a difference if I put the 1 first or the 7 first. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to plug them in, the 1 and the 7, and then I'm going to check. So when I'm checking, I could FOIL the whole thing out, but just the quick check is to check what is the outside product plus the inside product, because that's the pair that's going to make up the middle. The outside product here would be negative 7z. The inside product would be positive 3z, but negative 7 plus 3 is not going to be anywhere near 20. Which tells me, oh, I got my numbers in the wrong order. I'm going to switch them around. I'm going to put my 7 here and then my 1 here, and I'm going to check it again. Z times negative 1 would be negative 1z. 7 times 3 is a positive 21z. Negative 1 plus 21 would be positive 20z. And yes, that's what I want to have. And so the z plus 7 times 3z minus 1 is going to be what my answer is going to be. You could FOIL the whole thing out if you want, but the quick check is just check the outside product plus the inside product, because that's the pair that adds up to the middle to double check. So number 5, if I'm going to factor that, again, I know it came from FOILing. Factors of 5z squared. Well, the only factors of 5, 1 times 5. So z and 5z. Z times 5z is 5z squared. This time my end sign is positive. If my end sign is positive, they both have to be the same. I'm going to look at the middle. I'm going to have a negative times a negative. A negative times a negative, multiply and make it positive, but add up to the negative in the middle. Factors of 6. So my factors of 6 could be 1 times 6 and could be 2 times 3. I've got a lot more choices here. Normally I will start with the pair that's closest together and work my way out. So I'm going to start with the 2 and the 3. Again, you can kind of plug them in your head, but I'm just going to do, for guessing sake, just put them in and check it out just for practice. So if I do the 2 and the 3 and I check it, z times negative 3 would be negative 3z. Negative 2 times negative 5z is negative 10z. And hey, that did add up to the negative 13z, so I've got the right number in the middle. If that hadn't worked, I would have put the 3 first and then the 2 and checked it. If that didn't work, I'd have to try the 1 and the 6, or the 6 and the 1. And I just keep checking until I find the right pair that give me this middle number. So z minus 2 times 5z minus 3, going to be my answer. So number 6, again, factoring, we have 2x squared plus 19x minus 21. 2, again, only has the factors of 1 times 2. So we know that our factors of 2x squared, 1x times 2x. So x times 2x is 2x squared. The end sign is a negative. So if the end sign is a negative, we have to have one plus and one minus. Again, it does make the difference of the order, but we don't know what it's going to be, so we just plug them in, and if we need to, we'll switch them around. Factors of 21. 1 times 21, 3 times 7. Again, usually I'll start with the pair that's closest together, so I'm going to start with the 3 and the 7. And so if I put the 3 and the 7 in there and I check them out. X times negative 7 is negative 7x. 3 times 2 is a positive 6x. Negative 7 plus 6 is only negative 1. I want to get 19. My number is not near big enough. So I try them the other way. I'm going to put my 7 here and my 3 here. And then I'm going to check it out. X times negative 3 is negative 3x. 7 times 2x is 14x. That's not working out because that's only 11x. So now I got to try the next pair. So I go to the 1 and the 21. So 1 and 21. My outside product is negative 21x. My inside product is positive 2x. Well, I'm getting closer. Negative 21 plus 2 is negative 19x. However, we don't want negative 19. We want a positive 19. So that tells me I got my numbers in the right order. I just have my signs backwards. I'm going to change this to the minus and this to the plus. So if this is a minus and this is a plus, then this will end up being positive 21. This will end up being negative 2. And 21 minus 2 is my positive 19 that I want to get. Now I finally, after all that guessing and checking, have them in the right order. And so x minus 1 times 2x plus 21 is going to be my solution.